$500 plus a couple utilities. Fuck it, I pay it just to keep the tranquility. Fuck it, I love you, I do anything for you. Except settle down with you, I don't want nobody grilling me. Y'all boys lame.
Yeah, I know that too.
What's happening, Walby?
All good, bro. How you
You
doing?
chilling? I'm chilling, man.
Yeah, because I'm pushing myself to be like, look,
Yeah.
there's no excuses.
Calories.
Gotta pack those calories.
Yeah.
How's everything on your side?
Good, bro. I've been seeing the trainer.
Yeah.
Like, that guy, it's like, he probably makes me do like 4 times what I would usually do at the gym.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, today was legs and shoulders. So usually I would just do like 3 sets of squats, call it a day. Yeah, you break a little sweat and then it's like, go on. Guy had me on
On your case.
Yeah, guy had me on squats and it was like, cool, so we just started with the upper legs. The upper legs? What do you mean the upper legs? He said, yeah. Then we did,
Like, you didn't do calves, you didn't do anything else.
then we did split squats with the thing, like leg
Yeah.
on there. Then we did another sort of split squat, then we did calves. And in between now we're doing shoulders. It's like, I feel it. But it's a good
Yeah.
feeling. 'Cause
No,
it's like,
100%.
you know you're getting.
Hey guys, so we thought for this one, we did a Q&A on Instagram and I thought I would just answer some of the questions from there. So the first question was, what are some tactical things that we can use to improve on sales calls? And one of the biggest things that I was talking to my sales team about was actually just acting natural, right? So a lot of people, when they get on a sales call, even a YouTube video, to be honest, they start almost like tensing up. They start like putting on like a sales voice where it's like, hello man, like how are you doing? Like when they don't actually talk like that. So one of the easiest things you can do on a call is literally just talk like this, like a normal person, and not put the prospect on a pedestal, right? A lot of people, they're like a little, I was telling the guys, they act like a little squirrel. It's like they're just trying to be like super nice to the prospect. So the prospect will be like, oh man, like yeah, I was just watching the game. My team's like Man United. And our guys will be like, oh, I love Man United, they're the best. And it's like the prospect's like, bro, like you didn't have to say that. But the prospect would respect you more if you were like, they were like, yeah, so I support Man United. You're like, I don't even think we can be friends. Like we'll probably just have to end this call, to be honest. So they're just gonna respect you more for acting like a normal person. So one of the biggest things you can do is just watch your calls and ask yourself like, are you trying to like appease them like a little squirrel, or you're just acting like a normal person? So the next question, and there's many, many more like this, but it's the best way to like get leads on Facebook. And for all these like super technical stuff, because there's a million of them here, what we're gonna do is we have a free community where myself and my team, we're all in there. And what we'll do is we'll be in there, we can answer any of these like super technical questions, so like your scripts, your sales calls, like how to get leads on Facebook, or like best payment processes. And then we're also gonna have like a group call once a week. If you do wanna join that, there's a highlight in my Instagram where I talk about the free program, free community. Just go through that, it'll tell you just like send a certain word, and I'll send the link over. And then all these like super technical stuff you guys wanna know, I'll answer it there. So the next question I actually answered on the Instagram already, but it was unconventional advice. And what I said was mental momentum. So I was on a sales training call with my team yesterday, and one of the guys was saying he was in a bit of like a rut. And I hate that word, like I told him to just not use that. But I was asking like, okay, you're in a rut. How's your routine been? Like how's your sleep been? How's your training been? He's like, sleep's been okay. I was like, how's the diet? He's like, yeah, it's been good. I missed one of the meals, but it's been okay nonetheless. How's sleep? And I was like, yeah, it's like most of the nights it's okay, but it's not the best, but it's okay. Like it's not the worst. And then I was like, in the past, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But then I was thinking, it's like, I don't want like an average ass sales team. And it's like, I don't want them to be average people. I don't want it to be like, how's your sleep? It's okay. The best answer I could get is like, how's your sleep? Fantastic, better than ever. It's on point, it is perfect. That's the answer that we want. So I was thinking like, okay, in the past, he was so dialed in. Like his sleep was on point, his diet was on point, everything was on point. And that's when he felt the most confident. That's when he had the most energy. That's when he was just the most on point. And I was thinking back from my own situation. When I am completely just dialed in, I wake up on time, I work out, I do the right things, everything I say I'm gonna do, I do, that's when I'm the most confident. So it's like, I've essentially just got this term of mental momentum that it's like, you say you're gonna do a certain amount of things, and you do every single one of those things. And every time you miss, you're reducing momentum. Every time you do it, you're increasing momentum. And then over time, the results just skyrocket. All right, so the next question is, why don't you use a phone cover, right? So as you might know, for all the phones that I use, I purposely don't have a cover on it. And the honest answer is that it looks better. But the more in-depth answer is that I just choose to not make mistakes. And I say this and people are like, what are you talking about? What if you just make a mistake? So a quick story on this is when I used to go on dates with girls, I would have the no covers, like with a phone like this, and then I would put it on the table and they'd always be like, why don't you use a cover? Because I don't drop my phone. But what if you drop it by mistake? I'm like, I don't make mistakes, I don't do that. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just don't do it. And what they don't understand, because I would just leave it at that and change the subject, is that, and I was saying this to the team as well, it's like, you want to have the mentality of someone who just doesn't make mistakes. You don't do that. It's a choice that you make. I was talking to Kian about this too. I was like, bro, just don't stop making mistakes. He's like how? And I'm like, just don't do it. Just don't do it anymore. And now he does the same. He doesn't use the phone cover and he doesn't drop the phone. Because the thing is, I know all these people that are they just identify as clumsy people. And then they just do clumsy things. They'll knock their leg walking past the table. I'm like, why did you do that? Oh, no, it was an accident. They'll drop their phone all the time. It's like the people who identify as clumsy, they have the most cracked phone with the cover on. It's crazy. So the reason that I don't use a cover, besides the fact that it just looks nicer, and besides the fact that I tell people these things, now I can't put a cover on or else they're going to make fun of me. But it's just identifying the mindset of just not making mistakes. All right, so the next question is book recommendations. Now this is a question that I get near daily at this point. And before I go into it, it's like, you need to understand that the function of reading a book, there has to be a function there. So it's like, people will ask, what is the best book? I'm like, for what? For success. I'm like, define success. And usually I keep asking these things and they're like, okay, I want to sign clients. I'm like, okay, then send outreach, you don't need a book. But besides that, let's just assume that we're not going to do that, all that questions and stuff. One of the best books that I've ever read is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. And essentially it's not one of the standard self-help books where it's wake up early, make your bed, all these very surface level things. Essentially it's almost like a way of living, right? And I think reading something like this is more beneficial because in actuality, we actually all know what to do. It's not that complicated. For example, it's I'm working with a personal trainer now. It's I know that I have to work out. I know that I have to eat the protein. I know that I have to eat a certain amount of calories. And it's why don't you do it? Because it's the other things. It's the application problem that most people have. That everyone has, to be honest. So this book, it kind of just it grounds you as to what actually matters, which is things like having good character, living a simple life. And I'm not saying don't buy anything or be a monk, but it's just understand that you can have all these things, be a billionaire, all these things, but what really matters is your internal state, right? One of the things that I posted from this on Instagram is that nothing can harm the mind. It's what does that mean? Nothing can harm the mind. It's all these things could happen to you, but the only reason that internally it would affect you is if you label it as bad, right? So your body could be sore, you could be tired, all these things could be happening, but if your mind is solid, you're this is great, I'm learning, I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger, then nothing can actually harm you. So would really recommend this for anyone. I've probably read it near 3-4 times. So just on the point of you know what you need to do, but you're not doing it. If you don't have access to like a personal trainer, as Braden mentioned, some people don't have that, it's perfectly fine. The key thing is just getting something like accountability. For example, in our Slack channel for the company, we have a self-improvement channel. And basically, everyone set their goals. So let's say some people, they want to get to 80 kilograms, they want to bench a certain amount, they want to read a certain amount every day, whatever it is, they put their goals and they put their daily actions as well. So for example, to get to this point, they need to track their macros, hit this many calories, do this many workouts. And as long as you can get someone else to keep you accountable, you can get the same effects of like a trainer or anything else to this degree. All right, so the next one is Mac or Windows. Now, right now, we're heavily on Mac. But what I can say is, for everyone that has a window now, even though it is a little bit childish, when I started, when I tell you I had Windows, I probably had the thickest, loudest laptop like you can ever imagine in your life. Like that thing will be on your lap and I promise you, like it'll burn your legs and you'll hear it from another room. So I've been through it. I've been through the clunky laptop days, but I can honestly say, once you move to Mac, it is night and day difference. All right, so the next question is around morning routines. Now, when I started in business, even before that, I would notoriously be watching these entrepreneur morning routines on YouTube all the time. And I just thought it was like the coolest thing ever, having like a nice routine. And to be honest, it is very important, but it doesn't matter as much as you think, right? The key thing is just that you do the work, to be honest. That's what's gonna make the progress. So every morning I wake up at 7 o'clock. I used to not use an alarm, but honestly, going back to the point about like mental momentum, I find it better to just have the alarm and stick to the commitment. So I do that. I come into the kitchen, besides doing all like the bathroom stuff, like brushing your teeth and all that. Come to the kitchen, I'll have electrolytes, drink a whole lot of water, go work out, come back, drink a coffee or 2 coffees or 3 coffees, and then start working on the most important thing in the business. That is literally it. So those are all the questions for this one. If you do have more questions, by all means, just be on the lookout on Instagram. Just follow me there. I usually do Q&As once or twice a week. Just post it in there and I'll be sure to answer it as soon as possible. If not on Instagram, post in the free group or join one of the community calls that happens every Thursday now. Who has some goals they want to be held accountable to? Goza?
Yep. Cut, bro.
Yep.
Need to get to that 81 kilos.
I like it. What are the daily actions though? What are you going to have to do?
High protein, no carbs, daily workout, and the run 3 times a week.
Anyone else want to go?
Yeah, I'll go.
Good.
I've got a few already written down. I plan my weekly goals on a Sunday.
Nice.
Mine are kind of similar to Kian, but I'm not doing a 6. I'm doing just a 3-day split, but high intensity cardio. But my goal is to hit 76.2 kilograms by the end of the week. Then I'm aiming to upload 3 YouTube shorts every day. I'm trying to get to 1K subscribers by the end of February.
Okay, so what this means is that you guys have to post this every day.
I'll keep up to date with it. And if I don't, cuss me out. Don't be nice. Be rude.
No, really great call today, guys. Other than that, guys, it was really good seeing you all. Carolina, nice work on the self-improvement stuff. Emmanuel, keep calling everyone out, bro. You have full permission to just go rampage on Slack and on these calls. Just keep everyone accountable. They'll do the same for you. Good to see you guys. Have a good one. Talk to you guys soon.
Yes, Bobby. How was that?
Good run. Still busy. Solid performance from Braden today. Massive improvement.
Yeah, man.
Otherwise, good run.
Fighting for my life, but we're getting there. Bobby is making sure I don't give up.
So anyway.
To answer the first question about how do you like do it on the side, it's the same situation for anyone here who's like working 9 to 5, anyone here who's like studying at the same time. It's really just identifying what are the needle moving tasks and just doing those before anything else. So in your case, you don't have to think about it because I'll just tell you now, it's outreach. Then it's identifying, okay, what parts of the outreach are the most effective. Okay, wherever you're getting replies, that's where you want to double down on. So you just want to see how much time you have and then do as much as you can in that time. So I was watching your last video where you mentioned on the cutting down the tree. Yeah, 100%. Can I please have some tips on that? And what about LinkedIn? Do those traditional copy posts work? So yeah, it's exactly what we spoke about the last time, where it's like, you just need to ask the question. It's like, would you buy from you? Okay. Like, would you pay yourself $2,000? And then it's like, it's fine if it's not the case now. But then it's like, if not, what do you think's missing? And then it's usually the case that it's like, okay, well, more content, more info about like who you are, more info about like who you help, the process that you would follow. These are all questions that you just want to ask yourself. And that's the direction that you want to go.
Tell me how you like it like that. You so good. Tell me how to.
It's hard to hate on the truth I'm living in. Enough men hate with their lies instead. Counting cash with a phone to my ear. I feel like Meek on a private jet. Life or death. Five eyes, five.
So for this last part, I thought I'd just give you just some insight as to what's been happening in the company over the past week, just so that you understand everything that's been going on. So there's quite a few things, business and personal, but I'll start with the business. So one of the biggest things we've been facing is problems on the marketing side. Now, before I go into that, there was a caption that I made on Instagram, one of the most recent ones, and someone was asking me like, what does it mean? And basically it said the price was peace. And what I mean by that is when you're in business, you kind of just understand that it is going to be constant chaos, constant problems, and constant things that you need to solve. And it's like the people that I've seen who don't like stress, who don't like pressure, who don't like work, who don't like any sort of inconvenience, they just crumble, man. They just crumble. But the people who I've seen who just accept that there won't be that much peace in business, it's just going to be chaos. You're just going to be solving problems, but they just accept it. These are the people who I've seen progress the fastest. So going back to what I was saying, one of the things we are seeing on the marketing side is that there were problems, which again it's literally the price. So what is happening was, I mean, if you don't know already, we run a coaching program that helps agencies to sign more clients, systemize the acquisition, systemize the delivery, honestly just scale up. Most of our clients want to add 10K, 50K, 100K a month, dollars again. Usually I don't need to like explain that it's dollars, but because we've got a lot of South African people watching, they're like, it's just random dollars, but yeah, dollars. So anyways, so the problem is that most of our bookings, most of our sales calls, it comes from outreach. Now, what happened was the platforms that we use for outreach have really been cracking down. So it's like instead of being able to send 100 messages, we could only send like 30 messages. So as you can imagine, it's like the bookings that we got just got like cut in third, right? So we can only send a third of that. So it was like, okay, how are we going to get bookings for the sales team? Right, here's the problem. So besides the short-term fix that we came up with, which is like getting more setters, sending more messages, all of that on different platforms, I've made a massive shift to content. And the thinking behind this was that, look, outreach is essentially just getting attention. It's targeted attention. You're reaching out to one person. Now with content though, it's getting attention. You're reaching out to people, but at scale. So for example, with outreach, you make one post, you reach one person. With content, you make one post, you can reach 10,000 people. So it's just more leverage, but it's more long-term. So essentially I made the decision that, look, we're going to keep going with the outreach, but we're going all in with the content, right? So we're starting out by posting more on LinkedIn. You may have seen that. Posting more on Instagram. You may have seen that. The YouTube, obviously, this is the YouTube, but essentially just getting more volume out and attracting clients that way. So that's the longer term play. I'll keep you guys updated with that. It's basically like consistent posting on Instagram, like 1-3 posts a day, 5 times on LinkedIn, but I'll let you guys know. Then the other thing is that I wanted to explain something. I thought it was a really good analogy, is that, so this week I got a personal trainer, and where this came from is on the team calls, someone brought up that we should all have goals, which is a given, but we should all keep each other accountable in like the Slack, in the team community. I'll probably put it on screen or something, or Braden will probably put it on screen. But essentially, it's like everyone has put down their daily actions, right? They're, like, for example, working out every day, reading every day, sleeping on time, reading the Bible, like all these things, people put that down there. And we're holding each other accountable to doing that. Posting your macros, all of that. So I was thinking, like, look, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to like stay accountable to everything, it's like, firstly, I want as much accountability as possible, but I also want to do it well. So I got a personal trainer to help with everything. And what I realized is that there's so many commonalities or similarities to business, in that I was doing the workout like a normal thing, like dips, and the whole time he just kept like correcting me on my form, which is what I wanted. It was good. And I realized like I was doing the workout like 20-30% wrong. I thought it was the most easy thing. It's like, I'm not going to go into the exact detail on what he said, but it's like having someone there who's an expert to point out what you're doing wrong is so valuable, because he was explaining, it's like, look, by me doing it wrong, I'm leaving out 20% of like the actual gains that I can get from it, if not more. And it's like, man, like that compounded over time is so much wasted effort. Because like you're going to the gym the whole time, you're eating right, all of that, but you're not training as well as you could. And so it's like all that time is just wasted. But then I was thinking, I was on a coaching call in the week, and it's like, it's the exact same thing in business. It's like in our program, it's like, yes, we have course material. We have it like every single system detailed, mapped out in excruciating detail. Like some of the videos are like 2 hours long on objection handling. Like it's insane. But a lot of people, they're like, oh, it's just a course. But then it's like, no, what we've added recently is like the coaching element. And I'm seeing the value in it to an even greater degree, because it's like the value of coaching isn't to give you the info. Everyone knows that they need to work out and like eat the right food. The value of coaching is that when you're doing the activities, they can point out when you're wrong. So it's like when the client's on a coaching call with us, it's like we just look at their scripts. We just look at their sales calls. We just look at their results. It's like we can just adjust it. And the way I think that you move faster than everyone else is that you just don't make the mistakes that everyone else makes. It's not that you do the work, like, yes, you have to do the work, but it's like what's going to trip you up and slow you down more is going to be the mistakes. So if you can just avoid those mistakes, have someone just tell you like, look, literally just use the script, we've seen it work, that's going to be more effective than anyone else. So I thought it was just an interesting takeaway, but other than that, I'll keep you updated in the next video, and I'll see you then.